Welcome back to episode 11 of the Railroads Online Track Building Tutorials. And in this episode, we will continue on from where we left off from episode 10, where we have the steel bridge all built with the groundworks and the guide track deleted off the top of it. And it's ready to be built now with the finish rail on the top of it. So we'll start back up here and overlap from the previous track. And what we'll do here, because I don't remember what this corner was, we'll go back 2 segments and connect to there, put on the alt lock, and this will tell me what radius the rest of this corner should be. And we are on a 12. Snap to the end, and let's continue building around the corner with the 12. To start easing out of the corner. Well, a 6, no, maybe a 5. And we can go back to a 0 because we do have to put a short straight in here between the changes of direction. And that gives us a straight, yes. And now we'll start to work our way down the hill. Now we want to ease into this corner. And the 3 looks like it's nice and centre. And if I remember right, this corner was put in at a 15. So we'll go to 12 for the next segment. No, it appears I've gone too sharp. So we will end the spline and go back to the straight. Mark on the side where we put the joint. So we know we've got a duplicate track here. And try again. Three. 12 was too tight, so we'll go with 10. I'm going to try and keep it somewhere near the centre of where the bridge ran. That looks pretty good. We'll go one more. And then we'll back it off to a 5. I guess we've got a little straight here. We want to try and keep slightly to the left here because of the ground being right there, and we were slightly under the ground with the bridge when we put it in. And I forgot to turn off the 5. So we'll come back there. And we've got to delete it as well because we need to put it in as a 5. So we'll mark this point that we've had to start again. And build over the top. And now this one is a 5. Drop down to a 3. And then we'll make this one straight. And we did not turn around far enough. So let's go all the way back to where we put in the ordered piece there. So let's try again from this point. Sometimes you just have to keep building it over and over again. You don't quite get it right the first go. We'll try for a 7. Oh, that was the wrong button. That was the lean button. And then a 5. That looks better. And now where are we going to head to? Now we should head the right direction. Now we'll go back to 0. And we are coming just a little bit too far to the... Right, about here. I think we need to start turning into the corner. So we'll go with the 5. And then a 7. We'll just keep stepping up 2 each time until we're at the and I reckon we should be able to get around here with a 13. Or maybe not. So let's put in a couple of 15s. Okay, now we can start stepping it back. Remember all the rest of them to the end with 7s. It doesn't matter if we're not exactly middle of where the bridge went. We need to try and keep somewhere on its line. Otherwise, if we get too far off its line, especially if you cut the corners in, you will increase the grade between your segments of track, and that's not good at all. I think we need to drop 1 on this piece, and there we go. Now we'll start backing out of it properly to 2. I actually think 1 will come back straight, because we've got to have a straight in along between here, because there's a change of direction, and then start to come around this corner. First with a 3, 5, and a 7, and now it starts to tighten in. Let's go to a 12. Let's go to a 15, because this corner was put in at a 15. Start backing out now. Back to a 13. 10. And 7. The rest of this corner should be 4s. We won't make the mistake we made in the last video and set it to 3. And looking at that, we're slowly creeping to the right, so we may have to finish off the rest of the corner with a 3. So we'll go one further back out. Finish off the rest of the corner with 3s. Now this doesn't need to reach all the way to the end of the steel bridge here, because we have to come back from the sawmill side now and build the level track. And that was a mistake. So let's go back to where these 4s were and finish the rest of the corner around at a 4. Should be able to see that chord easily because it's on a corner. Yes, we have to build back at the right level all the way from the sawmill back to meet the bottom of this bridge decking, the bridge works, so that we know where to put the transition to go from the downgrade back to level again. We'll run the track right through to the end, and that's as far as we need to go. Alright, now as we work our way back to the top, we will remove the bridge. Somewhere up on here is a duplicate track, and this is why you mark them, because now it's hard to find. Bridges. And yes, you'll definitely find it if you come down with the train. The train will find it because it'll be an instant derail. Ah, look, here it is. Is it here? Hard to see. So I'm not going to chance it. What I'll actually do is, because this whole section was built down the hill in, was it 3 splines we ended up making it, I'll build over the top and turn it all back into 1 spline off camera. And that'll get rid of that overlap track we can't see. Run as fast as we can all the way back to the top. Okay, we can definitely see this one. So put it on rails and delete the cord. Delete the marker. Back on bridges. Keep removing the bridge. And this one here, because it's on a straight, it doesn't matter which one of the 2 we remove, but we will remove the right one. Oh, helps if we're on rail. There we go, got him. And then come back to bridges again. And we also need to remove this bit of groundwork that was the transition. And we have got a duplicate cord there, a duplicate piece of rail there. Now the last step is to put in the groundworks, And we need to choose variable because there is a gradient there, and we'll overlap the first segment, which is level, and that one's level, and this is where you've got to manually adjust the height to keep it at the right depth in the tyres by looking at the grain at the edge of the tyres. We're at 1.25 so far, so we're still going to go down a little bit now. Now we're on the 1.5, and then it's just a matter of run all the way to the bottom, connecting to each one of the joints. And you should be able to see how this 7 tie spacing has made a much smoother track than what the guide track was at full length. The guide track tends to get, the full length tracks tend to get little wobbles in them where you don't want little wobbles because there's such a long distance between your control points. 7 tie spacing gives you a higher resolution of control over where the pieces of track place at. And this here where we're going over, this is very deep here, so this will be a bridge. And this is by far the easiest way to build a bridge. And yeah, the best way to build a bridge is to not actually build a bridge. You just build normal track like you would be with a nice continuous track, and just put the correct groundworks underneath it, snap to the bottom. Oh, look at that, I made an error on the last piece. I missed the link. So these next ones I'm just going to have to estimate where they go. And this here is going to get very deep here too. So this here will be a little tiny bridge. And well, this bit kind of looks like swamp with the... So it kind of fits to have a little bridge here because you'd normally bridge over swampy areas on real rail. Yeah, it makes it harder when you've got to judge center each time instead of just snap to the link and the link automatically pulls your center. The link symbol's got to disappear before it'll let you put it in. Trying to work too fast and missed a link. If it was a straight, we could just skip a link and go to the next one. But yeah, because it's on a corner, we have to try and get every segment of the groundworks at the same depth, at the same length. Because if they're not the same length, some of these on the end will actually get deleted to match that height. So let's have a look here and see which ones we reckon need to be bridge. And you basically just delete out the ones that are tall. And I reckon one more there. And we'll come past the swampy bit down to about here, I reckon. And then we'll do the same for the other section where it gets deep. which I reckon there, that one, that one, that one. Just until it gets shallow. And maybe one more. Okay, we'll put some transition groundworks in between bridges, and we can go for constant because this is a constant grade. Somewhere here center. And we need to go down 1.5 and snap to there, and because the first and the last don't conform to the spline, we actually have to go one past what we wanted and then delete it. And same on the other end. I'll turn around and work up the hill this time. Constant and find the link. We need to go up 1.5, snap to there, one section up and one section past, and then delete the last section. What that does is that makes this joint here perpendicular to the track because you went one extra section further. Oh, that was nasty, I fell through the track. Okay, next step is to put in the actual bridge works, which is, let's choose wooden bridges, and again we come back and go one section back from the end, start here, and we need to put it at 1.5 down. Make sure the alt lock is turned off and snap the bridge to every track joint. Yes, essentially these groundworks and bridge works are just decorations once you get past the point of having the track in the right place. You have to use the right ones in the right way to get level track, but yeah, once we get to this stage, they're nothing more than just decorations. And you can see that that is actually slightly lifted, so we'll go up and down, and there we go, you can see now it's level again. Drop it in. And the last step is to change the normal rail over for decking rail. And I like to overlap my decking rail one space onto the there, and we need to start back here, which gives us two overlaps because the first and the last get deleted. So let's click it in, snap to the link, turn off the alt lock, and snap it to every joint of the normal track. All the way down to the end. Two more segments, this segment, and one pass because the last one will get deleted. Now before we right click to end that spline, we need to remove the normal rail out from underneath the decking rail by having basically the place tool and the delete tool selected at the same time. We run back up the rail, deleting all the ones we don't want, and then we delete that one. And there we go, that's the spline finished. End the spline. Now, of course, the first and the last, and as you can see, it's made a chord. It doesn't conform to the curve. You remove the first and then the last at the other end. And we have made bridge perfection without actually making a bridge. And I'll make the second bridge down here off camera. And when we come back in the next episode, I will have the groundworks aligned over to the bottom of this grade so that we can put the transition in at the bottom and put the rail in. And that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.